people of Belize not only appreciate the beauty of the sea, for thousands of self-employed Belizeans, the income that supports their family comes directly from this natural resource. These businessmen and women wear sunblock instead of suits, drive boats, not SUVs, and they dive into their jobs with pride.
I've been fishing for 17 years now, man. And what made me decided to become a fisherman is because it's easier for me to work out here and make my money without someone else trying to tell me when to do it or how to do it.
Last year, fisheries ranked 3% in terms of GDP, with an annual earning of $20.5 million, which puts it in the top 5 foreign exchange earners for Belize.
The Fisheries Administrator for the Belize Fisheries Department, Beverly Wade, appreciates the significance of the industry to the economy and the lives of the coastal communities.
It employs over 3,000 fishermen directly, and when we carried out household survey to estimate how many people directly benefit from fishing, we came up with a figure of a little over 15,000 people.
Fish there, you know, just a matter. One of the problems is fuel. One of the problem. Fish might be close, but you could get fish if you go live far out. But the cost of the fuel expensive. Then when you get the fish, sometimes a problem for get it sell. You look to sell that the Vernon Street Fish Market or the seaside, and too much people there sometimes and none of consumers there. You got fish back up and you can't sell. It might take 2 days to sell the fish. By the time you get the money, you have to split it into 2 days to survive for you and your family. So, you know, if you had a market where you could come in and give a good price for your fish, you go there and sell all your fish wholesale for a good price where you could make a living off of, it would be better.
In addition to fuel costs, the increased numbers of people who have taken to the sea has taken a noticeable economic toll on the northern villages. At the Sartaneja branch of St. Francis Xavier Credit Union, demand for loans have decreased, and it's not because the people no longer need credit.
The people are reluctant to borrow because they know that maybe they cannot afford to pay their loan, and maybe they have other financial commitments. I am saying that things are not running that good in Sartaneja.
Antes daba buen barco, ahora ni eso, ahora no puedes comprar una lancha en un barco. Tienes que trabajar 2 años, 3 años para conseguir una lancha si lo prestas al banco.
It's the opening of lobster season. The sailboats are packed. Sartaneja fishermen have made their way beyond the reef and onto the Glover's Reef Atoll, a very important protected area and fishing ground managed by the Belize Fisheries Department. Over the last few decades, more people have turned to the sea to stake their claim, much like during the U.S.'s gold rush. The veteran fishermen admit the dramatic increase of fishers means there will be less catch and thus less income for their families.
The only difference I see is because there is more fishermen in our time. In our time we had a couple of fishermen, you know, and the lobster for me is the same. But it's getting scarcer for the amount of fishermen that there is. There is over, maybe over 1,000 or 2,000 fishermen. In my time, there was only about 25, 30 fishermen.
Right now, the life is too much expensive. So I think it's very important to give some help to the fishermen like that right now.
While these fishers are at sea, life continues without them back in the villages. The burden of running the home is left in the hands of the spouses. Rosa Tepaz's wedding picture hangs proudly on her wall, but close inspection of her eyes reveals a deep pensive fear every time her husband goes fishing. Tepaz has lost family members at sea.
Pues yo no quisiera que mi hijo sea pescador porque pues ahorita lo que estamos viviendo, que cuando mi esposo se va de viaje, yo tengo ese miedo que no regrese otra vez como lo que está sucediendo en el mar, que matan a los pescadores, que los asaltan, los amenazan. Y yo quisiera que él tenga un estudio y sea alguien en la vida de algo de un buen trabajo, pero no en el mar, porque yo ya tengo ese temor, ya tengo ese miedo de que lo que ha sucedido con sus tíos, que no regresaron más, nunca supimos qué pasó de ellos.